Orange trees. They're one of the first things I noticed when I arrived in Sevilla, littering the streets with their happy color. Orange combines the energy of red and the happiness of yellow to represent enthusiasm and fascination, exactly the feelings I was experiencing when I first arrived. On every street, every corner, the orange trees were there reminding me of how sweet it was that I was in Spain, my first time in Europe since I was 5. I thought when I first landed in Sevilla I would be completely overwhelmed and nervous, but I was actually surprisingly excited and calm. From the language to the schedules to the fashion, everything was so new and fresh, just like the orange fruit. Around the same time, I learned that the oranges on the famous orange trees were basically inedible. I started to fall a little bit into culture shock. Everything was not as fun and carefree as it felt during the first few weeks. Learning a new language and adjusting to a culture is hard stuff. I started getting hungry in between my meals. I got tired of wearing jeans every day. I would practice what I was going to say to my host family a few times before leaving my room, just so I wouldn't say the wrong thing. I was comparing my experience to the experiences of my friends studying in other countries. Am I doing enough? Am I having enough fun? Am I learning enough? Why don't I feel as comfortable with my Spanish as my peers? My experience during this time was as bittersweet as the oranges. Pretty quickly, the oranges started being removed from the trees. The streets were no longer filled with the color of joy. During this time, I started to become comfortable with not participating. I didn't speak much at the dinner table and chose to stay in my room a lot of the time. I slept a lot during the week and traveled outside of Spain almost every weekend. I was becoming complacent with my level of cultural competence. I had hit a bit of a rut. During Semana Santa, my friends and I went on an amazing trip around Europe, visiting Amsterdam, Prague, Vienna, and Budapest in 1 week. We had so much fun experiencing new cultures, but traveling so frequently was exhausting to say the least. We ended our trip in Malaga, soaking up the sun on the beach, thankful to be back in a country where we could understand the language and eat tortilla. Wanting to spend a full day in Malaga, we opted to take a BlaBla car home to Sevilla. BlaBla is a ride-sharing platform that's sort of like Uber, but for long distances, and a whole lot cheaper. We were so nervous to be sharing a car with a stranger for 2 hours. At first, we couldn't find our driver, and I thought, no way is this going to work. Eventually, we found him, gave him 2 pesos, and hopped into the stranger's car. Luis talked to us the whole car ride, teaching us curse words and stopping at a gas station to buy us Twix bars. We shared our favorite places to go in Sevilla and the differences between our 2 cultures. By the end of the drive, my friends and I were beaming with happiness. We spoke Spanish for 2 whole hours after being away from Spain for a week without any problems. Maybe we were better than we gave ourselves credit for. Maybe what was holding me back before the trip was my confidence. When we stopped at the train station, we all exchanged numbers and promised to hang out in the Alameda together. The best part, when we got out of the car, the city had the most amazing smell, orange blossoms. Sometime while we were away, flowers bloomed on every tree in the city, creating the most amazing floral aroma. We literally ran around the city before going to our respective apartments because we were so happy to be home. We were blooming. Since then, I have made a promise to myself to be more confident in my abilities. When I put myself out there, I make the most out of being in Sevilla and really immerse myself in the culture. I've been hanging out with my host family more, asking them questions when I'm curious, and even introducing them to my real father when he visited. I was able to translate the whole conversation successfully and was so proud of myself. I went to Feria, Caseta hopped with my friends Marta, Danielle, y Laura, and learned how to do the Sevillana. I walked the Caminito del Rey with a Spanish-speaking tour guide. I'm regular at certain restaurants and coffee shops and feel strange eating dinner before 9:30. Through all this, I've learned to embrace the relaxed schedules and enjoy life more, stopping to see the sunset or Plaza España on my walk home, because why not? Life's too short to not stop and smell the orange blossoms. I'm so sad to be leaving the city that I love so much, but I know all these lessons will stick with me when I return to the States. No me ha dejado Sevilla.